It is along about 4:30 on a Friday afternoon, July 15th, 2011. And that, up ahead, is Duval, Saskatchewan. That truck is on Highway 20 heading north from Nokomis, about 40k to the north. Behind us to the south is Strasbourg, about 10k away. And panning around to the west, Long Lake, or Last Mountain Lake, is maybe 10 miles that away. This is a plain of glacial lake deposits, rich, flat, excellent farmland that attracted German settlers to the new Alsace colony, which was set up in this area in 1884, 1885. Across over there is Last Mountain itself. Stagnant ice moraine, ridged, hummocky, undulating. And welcome to Duval. Population in 2006 was 94, down about 10 from 2001. Peak population was in 1956, 218. Canadian Pacific laid its Pheasant Heights line through here in 1907, heading up from Strasbourg to Nokomis. There's the last elevator in Duval. The former Sask Wheat Pool A, built in 1954 with a 1926 annex. The old school over there is now Jeff Taylor's new school pottery studio, since the kids all go to Strasbourg Composite now. There's the back of the disused Duval United. And in front of us here would have stood the big old two-story school, and looking westward along Duval Grid over the hill. St. Paul's Lutheran is the only active congregation in Duval these days. It's a well-maintained building. The Germans associated with the Neu-Alsace colony were Lutherans. Following the Germans from Germany came Germans from southern Russia and the United States around the turn of the century. And after the railway reached Strasbourg in 1905, Canadians from the eastern provinces, Brits and Norwegians arrived. There's another look at the former Duval United. The community was named for former Canadian Pacific Superintendent Edward William Duval, who was killed near Arras in World War I on July 2nd, 1918, while serving with the Princess Patricia Canadian Light Infantry Battalion in France. An interesting yard and lots of doodads. Pretty joyful looking. These will be the village shops, if I'm not mistaken. Old plow and old rake out there. Looking west out the western edge of town. You can see down there the baseball diamonds for which Duval was famous. They had competitive teams for a long time. This is Main Street. Looking east down towards the hotel in the corner there. One would have thought the train station would have been at the end of Main Street, but it wasn't. It was one street to the north. Village offices might be somewhere in Main Street, but I haven't spotted them yet. Duval was incorporated as a village on December 21st, 1910, and retains that status. There's a view of the side of the shops and old McCormick Deering Park there. Looking north along Churchill Avenue towards the ballparks. There's Main Street, maybe it's Talbot Street actually. Heading down towards the hotel. Oh, it's had extensions added to the rims. And growser bars or cleats or whatever. Just must have been going over some soft ground around here. Wonder what year it is. Probably from the 20s, I would guess. Early 30s, maybe. And looking east towards the rail tracks and the elevator. Used to be 5 elevators lined up along Duval's rail side there, back in the heyday of the village. And here's the ball diamonds. Boy, that wind is starting to get up. Whoa! No prairie zephyr this one. Nicely trimmed properties, neat village. Here's what serves Duval as a post office these days. The rural post office of Mountainside was set up in 1906 on the side of Last Mountain over to the east, about a couple of miles. And it was moved into the village in 1908. There's the community hall and a view down Railway Avenue, I guess. And here's the rail line. Canadian Pacific dropped off an old boxcar to serve Duval as a station in 1907, and they replaced that with an A2 Western Line station in 1911. And it would have sat right down there on the other side of the trees. It was removed sometime around 1970. There's the old hotel, and been here since the early days. The station sat at mile 56.8 from Regina on the Lanigan sub. And Duval's real post office lasted through till 1990. There's a very nice oblique aerial photograph of Duval taken in 1959 in David McLennan's Our Towns book. Very informative. Thanks, David, for your work. Duval, Saskatchewan.